Universal, they'll circle around the Universal City area, up the Getty Center, and then come back here. But you know what? I'm going to grab someone here who just watched this with me. What went through your mind?
It was just amazing. It literally flew right above us. And
look at the sign.
On top of
look at the sign.
Where are you from?
I am from Hollywood, actually.
We also met someone who came in today from Brazil and Las Vegas. Here it is. It's going to come around the Hollywood sign. And again, we're at about 1,000, 1,100 feet up here. So when it flies by, you almost feel like you can reach out and touch it.
Yeah, that's exactly what they were saying. Look at that.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's spectacular. Again, one of those planes behind it taking pictures, taking pictures for historical purposes, obviously recording all of this. And the other one is flying security. I understand these are F-18 fighter jets. The shuttle itself, 122 feet long, has a wingspan of 78 feet. And a lot of people have been asking me this question. How in the world does a 747 carry something the size of a shuttle on its piggyback? Well, here's the deal. And this is what my friend who was an engineer on this project for a long time said. She said the maximum load for a 747 like this is 63,000 pounds. That's the same thing this plane would carry if it had passengers and cargo. So it really is a wash in terms of the weight it's carrying. There we see, is it coming back around? Let me just say, there's a great vantage point wherever you are up here, but it's hard to see overheads at this point. Can you tell, is it coming back over?
Yeah, looks like it was coming from like Sunset and Hollywood area over to like...
Oh, looks like it's coming back in again. Also, we were talking about the shuttle compartment and how small it is. Usually you have the shuttle commander and the pilot up front and the mission specialist. The mid-deck area is where people sleep and exercise and eat. And you know what? I'm just going to be quiet for a few minutes as this flies overhead again. This is just something to see.
Wow.
There it is, the Space Shuttle Endeavour. I have never seen so many cameras and so many phones.
Wow.
You know, you can't help but get choked up when you see that. People are up here in shirts with American flags. A lot of them are carrying flags. I heard someone chanting, "Go USA."
Wow.
And I'm always amazed by the number of people. Oh, here it is.
USA! 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 USA #1!
Oh, yeah.
As I said, I'm always amazed at the people and the sacrifices they make to get up here. It truly is amazing. Now, Tommy, can I have you pan over there? We were talking about the fire department up here. They are working. There are a lot of EMTs up here. But the fire department extended their ladder. I thought they were up there to get a good picture, but they were actually just showing it off. And, you know, there are a lot of children up here, so they're using it sort of as a working tool as well. Now, I believe the next flight path for the Shuttle Endeavour, they are going to head down to JPL, and that's where my colleague Patrick Healy is standing by. Patrick, do you see it yet? Do we have Patrick? All right, let me, here. Let me step down. I'm standing on a box so we can see this. Tommy, can we pan down? Let me get your name again.
Jack.
Okay, Jack. How exciting was that for you?
It was amazing. It was just a great experience, and I loved it. It was really worth it. It was really worth it.
So you got here really early this morning, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you played hooky from school.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think you're going to tell your teacher when you go back on Monday?
I got to see the Shuttle Endeavour.
It was truly a goosebump moment. All right, I mentioned my colleague Patrick Healy's at JPL. Let's switch to him right now, and he'll pick up the flight path of the Shuttle Endeavour. Patrick.
Okay. Yeah, we can hear Patrick in the background. He is standing
All right,
by.
from
Hi, Patrick.
JPL, it is on the horizon to the southeast, making a big left turn, about to head north. And you may be able to see in the foreground the crowd here at JPL gathered in a parking lot at the upper reaches, so we get a high elevation from the facility. Several hundred JPL employees here. And interestingly enough, for many of them, on the schedule they worked, this is a day off. But they came in to see this site, and many of the people here worked directly on payload projects, on scientific experiments that were a part of the 25 missions that were flown by Endeavour. And of course, this is mission 26 we're watching right now, bringing it home the final time to Southern California where it was built. Interestingly enough, in contrast to some of the other locations where you heard the enormous roars, it is almost deathly quiet here at JPL. The people here are in such awe of what they are witnessing. You can hear a cough, you can hear a camera clicking, but other than that, it is almost completely quiet. We've been talking to a number of the scientists. Hey, Mike Kobrick, I don't want you to take your eyes away from what we're looking at, but tell me what's going through your head as you're watching.
Well, when the NASA first announced that an orbiter was coming to California, we were pretty thrilled.
Mike, don't look at me. Keep looking at the
I've seen it before. When we found out it was Endeavour, we were over the moon because we had such a long history with that orbiter.
And here it comes right over our heads. Okay, now the people are finally getting excited and letting out a few whoops and cheers. Even scientists, I guess, can let their hair down. And it's amazing how quiet it is. Not even much. Okay, here we're getting the jet sound. Yeah. Directly overhead with the two chase planes off the port wings. And now making a big left-hand turn. Those F-18s are making a lot of noise. Now, Mike, had you seen the shuttle up close this before?
Oh, yeah. I've actually been on board the shuttle carrier aircraft. So picture a 747 with everything stripped out, even the plastic on the walls. It's really quite a feat to fly that thing. Flying the shuttle is good enough, but imagine flying a 747 with a 170,000-pound orbiter on your back.
I'm imagining what it must be like to get the view. I mean, this is the grand tour for the Shuttle Endeavour, but the flight crew on that 747, what a view they're getting.
This must be a fun day for those pilots. I mean, they basically told them, go fly around and give the people a look at it. It's like a NASA pilot job that anybody would want, you know? I would want it.
So put this day in perspective. JPL, a lot of exciting space things happen. How does this fit into the Grand Pantheon?
Well, JPL, as you know, is the lead center for robotic exploration of the solar system. We just landed Curiosity rover on Mars. But in addition to that, we have quite a program of looking down at the Earth, too. And we really capitalized on the space shuttle. My particular experiment has flown Endeavour 3 different times, the last time in 2000. In fact, there's a model of it over here. So we're really thrilled.
Oh, my goodness. I'm losing my glasses. I'm so excited.
Gravity works here, too.
Mike Kobrick, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us.
My pleasure.
And now we're going to throw it on to the next Endeavour vantage point.
Battleship, the 103 down in San
Yeah.
which is fantastic. And then now we've got the
We're going to get all the scientists very excited, and we can see downtown in the background. And Colleen Williams has been out at the Griffith Observatory. People erupted in cheers, shouting USA. Colleen, what's happening right now?
Well, a lot of people are still looking toward the south and still looking, trying to get an idea of where the shuttle might be in Southern California, because from this vantage point up here, you can see, all the way out to the coast. A lot of people, though, are realizing there were thousands of people up here, so they're making that trek actually down the hill. But I have to tell you, the moment was just amazing. There were young kids up here. I saw a baby up here that was 1 week old. Obviously, that child has no idea, but his parents will tell him down the road that he spent his first weeks of life up here watching the Endeavour go overhead. It's just, I think I told you earlier this morning, I've covered sporting events, I've covered a lot of things in my life and my career, but this really has to be at the very, very top. goosebump moment. People up here really educated themselves about the shuttle too. They knew so much information. I had people walking up to me who were, 8 years old telling me, the shuttle's on top of a modified 747. And I would look at an 8-year-old and go, really? What does that mean? And they would say, well, the tail is a bit different than a regular 47, and that's because of airflow over the shuttle. And I would look it up, and of course they're correct. So, it was really a teaching moment for a lot of the younger kids. And, a lot of those kids are the kids we'll look to be the future in space.
Even us older kids, Colleen. I mean, I've done some research as well and learned a few things on my own. So, again, and I like the way the fact that, we had Ted Chin talk about this yesterday and even somewhat today, and that is...
Oh, yeah. I saw him. He is right there.
And just to be at the very, very top, that speaks volumes. A huge, huge moment for everyone.
I met a lot of youngsters who wanted to be astronauts, who wanted to be involved in the space program. Also met a few who want to be reporters down the road. So I'm coaching them as well. But, not to worry, they're too young. They won't threaten us down the road, you guys. But, it was such a great moment up here. And, the other thing, I hope the California Science Center is ready for this, because to a person, everybody has talked about, they can't wait till it opens. They want to go down there and see it. And, it really is something that families can do. As I said, I met people who were here from Brazil, from Guatemala. I met someone who had driven over from Las Vegas to see this today. Fullerton, Riverside, Simi Valley, you name an area and an area code, and they were up here to watch this.
Yeah, it's so exciting. And I think that it's genius the way they've decided to display it. They're going to display it vertically, like it's taking off. That's going to be fascinating. And even though we won't be able to touch it or to go inside of it, they're working on ingenious ways to give us good angles, so you can be up above it and you can have a good angle from the side and see it from every view. So it's going to be a really great thing when this thing goes on display.
It's one of the shuttles that will be displayed in launch mode. Other shuttles displayed around the country